To the team's latest news predictions. That's quite hard to say. Where I've forgotten the whole thing already.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Hey guys, I'm Abby and this is the weekend Premier League preview show right here on the Don Robbie channel with myself and of course Flex.
Yeah.
Score predictions.
Yes.
Tell me.
Arsenal are going to do that Arsenal thing where everyone expects them to lose, their own fans expect them to lose. They should lose,
Yep.
but I don't think they will, and I think it's going to be 1-1.
Norwich are going down, surely. They are going down.
You would imagine
at this moment in time.
Sorry, any Norwich fans, you're probably thinking the same thing. Well, we'll be discussing the latest Premier League games coming up for that weekend, your team news, and making our predictions. Make sure you guys tune in, don't miss out. That was perfect.
Hey guys, and welcome to the weekend roundup show with myself and the beautiful Pippa.
Aww.
New hair for this week?
New hair, new me.
New hair, new me. We've got so much to talk about. There were so many goals this weekend,
Yes.
which hopefully many of you watched along with us when we did the Saturday football show, which we launched on Saturday.
Loving the show, loving the set.
The set is sick.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the set. But before we get started, make sure you pick your team of the week via the Don Robbie Extra app, www.donrobbie.com, and obviously put your team in, and then we will have a look at yours and ours at the end of the show. So, no better place to start really than with United.
Didn't think you'd start there, but okay.
We are starting there. How can we not start there? I mean, Watford 4, Manchester United 1. What a game.
Big shock.
Insane game.
Yeah, I didn't catch the beginning of the game, but then I think I caught it when it was like 2-0 or something, like 2-1. And then all of a sudden it was 4-1. I was like, what on earth just happened?
Well, Watford had a penalty early on and then it got rescinded. They scored, then it got rescinded, and then David De Gea saved it.
The thing is, I know this sounds crazy. I think this is not even just in this game. David De Gea has been pretty much incredible, the best player for them in recent games, but it doesn't show because of the results.
Yeah. So
he's letting 4 goals. If I say he's been amazing, you'd think how? 4 goals has been let in, but
he's the only one that's probably kept it down from being
a lot more. Yeah.
Watford have won back-to-back home league games against Manchester United for the first time ever.
Wow.
And credit to Watford, as bad as Manchester United are, Watford, I think you have to give some credit to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was United's biggest league defeat against a promoted side since September 1989. They've had quite a lot of bad losses lately. Yeah. Going back to that Liverpool one as well. Ollie finally sacked.
You said finally,
I'm not, because I know that Pochettino's probably going to end up there, and that's going to make me very, very sad.
Which is a huge shock to me. I mean, there's so many talking points around this, but don't you want to go and win the Champions League, possibly with PSG first?
Apparently, but apparently Zidane isn't taking it. Doesn't want the job, which is strange to me, considering United is still it's not too far gone. I never think it's too far gone in the Premier League at this stage. But also, they've still got the Champions League. They've still got the FA Cup, and you look at Thomas Tuchel. Same time last year, came in for Chelsea and look what happened to them. So I don't see why Zidane wouldn't want to take it.
They've got about 26 games or something left in the league. Over 20 games at least.
It's
not
strange.
a time to just
shut up shop and say, okay, let's get an interim for an interim.
Yeah, makes no sense.
It makes no sense to me at all, unless it's to Pochettino. So hopefully he doesn't go there, but I'm a bit concerned. However, he has finally got the sack. I think a lot of people thought it was, it was time for him to go probably after the Europa League final, and that didn't happen. They stuck with him, and of course that game against Liverpool.
Yeah, I thought that would be the moment,
the turning point. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think for United fans, it wasn't the turning point, and here we are. It's just made things a lot worse. They've got a big game on Tuesday. Is it with Villarreal again?
Yeah,
they've got Villarreal, and then I think they've got Chelsea next weekend. So it's another
tough game. So Carrick is the one that's stepping in for that.
Yes.
Big shoes to fill. I mean, it's not anyone could probably fill those shoes after that, because even if you lose 2-0, it's an improvement.
Yeah.
But it's a tough job for anyone to take, and I really do wonder who could be the next Man United manager.
Yeah, because the thing is, I think lots of people, will look at the negatives that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has, there's been, and there has been quite a few. But at the same time, when you look at the way he took over Manchester United, they were a broken side. They had no morale, nothing to bring them all together. Yeah. And he did really steady the ship, and he was interim, which you forget. So whoever comes in as interim, I really hope you do a good job and they give you a contract.
I think the expectations are too high, and I know that sounds ludicrous, but I think Man United fans have to come to terms now that they're just not it at this current time.
But they've got the squad.
Of course they've got the squad, and they can still compete for things, but I think since Sir Alex Ferguson left, I think they've had about 5 managers. Yeah. It's not happening, it's not working. They spent over £1 billion or something crazy like that. They're not it anymore.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to come to terms with that, just like Arsenal have. I hate to compare the two teams, but they were still are two of the biggest clubs in the league.
Yeah.
That was the game everyone looked forward to watching in the Premier League, Arsenal, Man United.
Yeah.
And they're two teams that are just not it anymore. It's Liverpool and City's turn now.
And also the league is far more competitive now, but the Premier League as well. But I do laugh when United fans say, "Oh, long suffering." I'm like, you literally last.
It's like 2013.
Yeah, you've last won a trophy I think like 2017 or 2018 or something. Yeah. So I'm like, long suffering. Try to be Spurs. Yeah.
No one wants to be Spurs, darling.
Shut up. No one wants to be Arsenal after this weekend, and we will move on to those in a second. Ismaila Sarr has scored 5 goals in his 12 Premier League games this season, as many as he netted in 28 appearances in the previous campaign in the Premier League. He's having a good season so far. Shout out to Dennis as well, Tom Cleverley, all having a really good game.
I mean, well, one of those players you mentioned, there's a couple of players in that team that have links to Man United. They played for Man United for Cleverley, I believe Ben Foster. There's a couple of other players in there. So I guess they're kind of used to, I know it's a whole different team, different setup, but that's probably a massive game to them and a point to prove, like, you let me go, I'm not part of that team no more. Yeah. I need to make sure I perform.
They're more up for it. And also, Claudio Ranieri coming in, very big win for Watford. Probably one that I don't think most people... people say that, they would have backed Watford to win that. I think they're lying.
No, I wouldn't have seen that come. I know Manchester United have been on a downhill slope, but I would never predict
the
Watford
level
win.
of it as well. And of course, Harry Maguire sent off as well for that very rash challenge. But anyway, it'll be interesting. There'll be so much talk about Manchester United for the coming weeks. Yeah. So we will move on swiftly.
They're going to be a massive talking point for
the foreseeable.
Yeah.
Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0. I can confirm you guys didn't see this scoreline.
No. I mean, kind of. I mean, so when I was looking at the fixtures upcoming, so the game before the international break and then the other games like Man United coming up, Newcastle and of course Liverpool, I looked at the games and thought Liverpool's the one that we're either going to lose to or at least get a point. It was always going to be a tough game. Liverpool are on great form. Yeah. Great form. And they've been for the last couple of seasons.
Even though they had that loss against West Ham, and credit to West Ham.
That's just a blip in there.
It's a blip. But, Liverpool at home, the firepower they've got, the speed at which they break is scary.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they were disappointed and surprised that they didn't score earlier on in this first half because Ramsdale was absolutely incredible keeping Arsenal in the game. But that's all Arsenal had to do. The only thing they could do was defend because Liverpool just kept coming at them. Yeah. They're a pressing team, and they just kept going, kept firing. And Mane didn't give up. I think he had to switch to the other side at one point because Tomiyasu was giving him problems. He was struggling. That battle was there. But then Mane's got that quality and that pedigree. He's not going to give up, and he's going to get the first goal of the game. Of course, it was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen.
Second half, and it all just capitulated.
What
for
a ball
Arsenal.
in as well from Trent.
Yeah, Trent has been incredible for England,
what a ball.
Let's not sleep on his deliveries. Yes. He always delivers. Well, sign him up.
Well, do you know what? Considering that you guys had barely conceded and you were on such a good run, was it 9 or 10 games unbeaten?
Yeah,
10. Including the cup, to score, concede 4, that just shows you
the level. Yeah, it was a bit
level.
1-0. Obviously, it sounds stupid to say, but I was okay with that at half time. I was still in the game, could possibly get a draw. But that second half, I think there's so many things that people could blame it. The Klopp v Arteta, that everyone's saying that amps up the crowd even more. And Anfield's loud as it is. When they're singing, when you walk out and you're hearing, you'll never, that's loud.
Yeah, it's insane. That's why it's one of the best atmospheres. To hype them up even more, it's going to be even harder to get a performance while they've got their 12th man. Did Arsenal show you any signs of anything positive in that game?
In the first half they did. I think second half the youngsters obviously made some errors, but I think they're very new to the Premier League, in terms of Tavares and Lokonga. And they're very young, so if they make mistakes now in a season where the aim is not to win the league. Yeah. I mean, you've got to be crazy to think Arsenal can win the league this season. Yeah. The aim is to just get back into Europe, hopefully. Yeah. If they make mistakes at this point against a big team like Liverpool, I can't be too mad at them. Yeah. You can't be too mad at them.
No, absolutely not. You've just, and it's such a young team as well. Yeah. Under Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool have scored more Premier League goals against Arsenal than one side has against anyone else, basically, since 2015.
And how many Salah scored against Arsenal?
That's 37 from Liverpool. Arsenal have conceded more goals following their own errors than any other side this season. Does that worry you? That
Arsenal had more errors?
That you've made more errors leading to goals?
Yeah, that does. It does, actually. I didn't realise we did. Because we haven't... Well, yeah, actually, we've got a minus goal difference. Yeah, that needs to be improved because the defence is okay. It's for the age that they are, the experience they have, the defence is very good. Yeah. The first 20 minutes of the game, I was thinking the best centre-back is Gabriel. Do you know what I mean? He's not... And then it all changed because he was doing so well till that header winning from Mane. That does worry me. They need to
something definitely to look at. Yeah. But on a Liverpool note, since the start of 2018-19 season, Trent Alexander-Arnold has provided 38 Premier League assists.
Wow.
Which is pretty
Golden boy. Has he? Oh, I don't know. I need to confirm. Has he not won like young player of the season or nothing?
I'm not sure. Guys
I
in the
feel
chat,
like he
let
has.
us know.
I feel like he's narrowly missed out.
I mean, he should always be up there. I mean,
Yeah.
he's fantastic. There was all that
Because
talk
he's
about
amazing.
should he have even been in the England squad? Yes.
Really?
Yes, he
Come
should
on.
be in the England squad.
Did you see what he done? I know it's only like people say it's only San Marino and whatever
Yeah.
else, but he delivers, man.
Can only beat who's in front of you.
Exactly.
No, but who's in front of you. Right, on to Wolves 1, West Ham 0. Didn't actually see that result. I thought West Ham would carry on their fine form.
Me too. Especially how Wolves started their season. It's a great result for Wolves.
Yeah.
I just thought West Ham.
Wolves are playing well.
Yeah. I
Wolves
just
are
thought West
playing
Ham would have, especially how they've been their last game before international break, beating Liverpool, as we said. I just thought they would have been had a lot more.
Yeah.
And Antonio coming back off international break with his wonder goal for Jamaica.
Yeah,
I just
insane.
thought, this would be an exciting game, but it just didn't deliver for West Ham fans, unfortunately.
But Wolves have looked good. I think the problem was at the start of the season, they were playing good football, they just couldn't.
It was like 1-0, it kept losing 1-0, 1-0.
The ball in the back of the net,
Yeah.
but now they're playing really, really well. Wolves have won 3 consecutive top-flight home games since the first time since 1980.
Wow.
Wow, that's insane. West Ham failed to score in the Premier League for just the second time this season. I actually don't think West Ham had lost away from home until that game.
Yeah, that's a shame. They're still top 4 though, aren't they?
They are still.
They can't complain too much.
No, they can't. But I think it's an interesting one because people are so on the West Ham train at the moment.
Yeah.
That when they do lose, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe
Surprised,
West Ham
yeah.
lost, and that's a credit to David Moyes and how
Yeah.
far he's taken this West Ham side.
Definitely.
But also credit to Bruno Laga, who's come in for Wolves and completely changed the mentality.
Yeah.
And another goal for Raul Jimenez.
Of course. I'm so happy that he's back.
Same. Makes me very, very happy.
Yeah.
There's a documentary actually, I think, that's coming out or come out.
To do with his injury or
Yeah,
just
to
his
do with
life
his
as
injury. I
well?
think it's on BBC iPlayer.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's about what happened in the injury and
Yeah,
like
and
how
that
he
was at the
basically
Emirates,
got back to playing football.
I'm glad he did because you see so many, not so many, but there's been other players that have had head collisions and they just haven't come back.
Yeah.
And definitely not that soon as well. So
Definitely
happy for him.
worth a watch if we can find that.
Yeah.
Spurs 2, Leeds 1.
Why are you smiling?
I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not really. I'm not because it was a terrible game. Spurs were absolutely atrocious, especially in that first half. They were awful.
Leeds were leading, right?
Leeds were leading. Calvin Phillips literally had Harry Kane in his back pocket. And then I don't know what happened at half time. Whatever Antonio Conte said gave him a right good bollocking.
It's funny you say that because Calvin Phillips was in the back line, wasn't he? In defence,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Which is strange.
They've had injuries. No Rafinha, no Patrick
I
Bamford for
hear
Leeds.
that. But then I can't remember what he said in the post-match interview. But he said something in something to do with Bielsa's decisions and what's happening behind the scenes. He didn't
Calling
give
out
too much
Bielsa.
away, but it's like he was trying to say something, but then he realised, let me not say that in case I ruin my relationship or whatever else.
Or something like
But
that.
it was an
I didn't see
interesting
that.
post-match interview.
I didn't see his post-match, so I can't comment.
Okay.
But I don't think it does look all rosy for Leeds at the moment, does it?
No.
They're not playing particularly well. And I have to say, it's interesting because Spurs and Leeds have always played quite attacking, attractive, expansive football.
I wouldn't say attractive, but
And I have to say both of them. I mean, if you're a neutral, that game was really quite dull.
cruddy, yeah.
Yeah, it was really scrappy. I think from a Harry Kane perspective, I felt he looked much better. Spurs were unlucky they hit the post or woodwork like 3 times in that game as well. But they did look better in that second half. So big up Antonio Conte because I don't know what he said, but they came out a different team. They actually outran Leeds in the second half, which they've barely moved for 2 years since Poch got sacked. So that was good to see. Antonio Conte has won each of his last 17 home games as manager, with the previous 16 all coming under Inter. That was his first Premier League game in charge as well. Leeds have dropped 10 points from winning positions in the Premier League this season. Which is incredible, when you think about how good they were. Do you think the problem with Leeds is because they didn't strengthen the summer?
100%. I was going to say that. I think maybe they couldn't have underestimated you. You're pretty new to the league or in recent years, coming up last season, and I just felt like you're playing with the big guns now.
It's second season syndrome.
Yeah, you have to improve your squad. Don't just think because you had a good first season that it's all going to be rosy.
Yeah.
Other teams are going to work you out. They're going to know how to come up against you. And not just that, you need to add a different elements to your team. You have to keep adding different dynamics. And you've seen that with other teams. Not so much Liverpool, they didn't really change much themselves, but you just have to keep it evolving.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. It's interesting to see what happens there. Bielsa to get sacked?
No. Why would you say that?
I'm just asking you.
There's too many sackings going on.
We're seeing managers going and dropping like flies these days.
Literally,
How long do
I've
Leeds
tweeted
give it?
this.
They're in and around that relegation zone. How long do you give it? If it depends on your Premier League survival, how long do you give it?
Listen, there is a game of musical chairs that's been played since the beginning of the season with managers.
Yeah.
There's other teams of a higher pedigree that need to get a manager first, such as United.
Bar United. There's lots of.
So you can't. Leeds can't be doing switching and changing when there's other teams that need managers.
There's murmurs about Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, but then like who goes to Leicester? Do you know what I mean? There's too much going on. We've had Aston Villa, we've had Norwich, we've had Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? There's too much interchange going on.
There's a lot.
Bielsa needs to stay put because I cannot keep up with these managers changing. If I had to do a quiz tomorrow about who was here and who was there, my brain will be muddled up.
It will probably be
because
changed
it's too much.
by the time you actually did it. Right, today's video is brought to you by Ultimate Fan, and here is a video to get you guys an idea of how it works. Not playing Ultimate Fan? A mix between FPL and FIFA Ultimate Team. You need to get involved.
Each week there is a big prize pool to be won during all the weekend Premier League matches.
Choose 7 cards from your maximum 24-man squad and let your players and team do the rest. Claim your weekly pack drop, select your squad and rack up as many points as you can to be in with a chance of claiming a share of the prize.
And don't forget to subscribe and enhance your chance of being victorious with access to UF Plus, which outlines behind the scenes stats, most popular player picks, injury news and podcasts across the week.
There is also a free card to be won in the UF Clash every single week, with all players entered into a mini league of 5. And the winner is going to be awarded an additional card to add to their squad on Tuesday's pack drop. Stay tuned for our UF squad selection every week on Robbie and see who we pick ahead of the upcoming game week.
You must be over 18 plus to play and T&Cs apply. Head over to ultimatefan.com or click the link below for more details.
Yes, so that is Ultimate Fan, and it's a mix between FPL and FIFA Ultimate Team. Just to give you guys a reminder, weekly pack drops, pick your squad and get as many points as you can to be in with a chance of winning a prize. Subscribe and get access to Ultimate Fan Plus, which outlines behind the scenes stats, most popular player picks, injury news and podcasts across the week. You must be 18 or over to play, terms and conditions apply. Head over to ultimatefan.com or click the link below for more details.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So as we were saying just before that, about
Yes.
you posed the question, how long until Bielsa's gone?
Yes.
Let's go through some of the comments. Matt is saying Leeds are a way too nice a team. They have none of the old Leeds edge, too nice to play against. And in terms of Bielsa, S. Timson says if he loses the next few games, Leeds will sack him by the end of the year. But Matt says Bielsa isn't the problem, it's a lack of investment. Just like we were saying.
I absolutely agree. But the thing is, you can't. What can they do in January? January is such a tough window to go and do stuff. And if you're already in that relegation dogfight, come January time.
I feel like this January, I'm going to have to look at stats for this, but I feel like January coming could be the busiest transfer window we've ever seen.
It could be.
It could be better than the summer. Like there could be like managers, players, key players. I feel like it's going to be
paying
super
over
busy.
the odds as well. Everyone plays over the odds in January, but I'm excited to see what Antonio Conte does personally from a Spurs perspective in this January transfer window. But I have to say, in general, there's a lot that needs to be done. When I look at Manchester United, they've got the squad, I think. They've got the squad, but I still think they need someone in midfield. I still think they need someone. I don't think the Fred McTominay Matic thing, I don't think it works for me.
Yeah.
I think that's where they need to look at. Whether or not they do it in this window, probably
They've
not.
got Donny. Donny scored.
Donny's going to be in that side.
I
mean that side, but I am really interested to see exactly what happens in this January transfer window.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
Let's have a look. Glory Hunters in the Mud. Not sure who's referring to there. Could be Man United, could not. I don't know. Will be interesting to see how Newcastle perform against Norwich, Burnley and Leeds. That would be interesting, actually. And someone says January will be mad. Newcastle need to spend to survive because Newcastle may not survive this season.
We're going to see some mental transfers going to Newcastle.
Yes. One more. We've got a super chat here from Anand. Says Zidane is not going to any club. He wants to be the next French manager after 2022 World Cup. He also supports him. Perez also said it. Macron also supports him, so I can't read.
Okay. But still, I mean, 2022 World Cup is a year away, so he's going to just sit there chill for another year?
Yeah, but then you don't want to be chopping and changing jobs. There's managers with that much experience. Remember, he's been a player, he's been a manager for a number of years. You don't want to be someone that's just going to go Man United for a little while and then go to France.
I'd like it if I could just have a year off. Just chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so nice.
They might get, Manchester might get Steve Bruce.
Interim, that'd be interesting.
No, Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce. Just
full stop.
Full stop. Imagine, could you imagine the uproar? I'd love that. Love that so much.
Man United legend, mate.
He is a Man United legend, and that worked out so well with the last one.
Yeah.
Right, Manchester City 3, Everton 0. City were just in the driving seat, weren't they? Some
Love that.
outrageous balls. Cancelo, that
Rodri.
ball he put in. Rodri.
Even, why do I keep forgetting the youngsters' names? Is it Cole Palmer or Cole Palmer?
Cole Palmer.
Cole Palmer had a nice little shot
Another
as well.
through the academy, another little Foden there we've got.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'm liking the Man City infrastructure because in previous years you didn't really hear about Man City. Weren't the club that you hear about youngsters coming through. Rarely, you always hear about Chelsea, Arsenal, even West Ham a bit, but you never hear about Man City. Now they've got players coming through that are doing extremely well.
You see
England call-ups and all sorts.
You see now, and even someone like Jadon Sancho, right?
Yeah.
So you see that from when they had the investment, we're going back 12 years or so. So from that time, is it 12 years since they got taken over? 20,
it might be.
2008 or 2009. So over that, a little bit over 12 years, 13 years. So you have a look and you see that money is obviously also been put into the academy, and now
and
you're
the women's team.
And the women's team, exactly. And now you're seeing the results of both the women's team and the academy with having the likes of the Sanchos, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden all come through, amongst others as well, which is very good to see.
Yeah.
Everton, another loss for Rafa Benitez.
And a big loss as well.
It is a big loss, but it is Manchester City.
I know, but I kind of expected a bit more from Everton. I mean, I'm obviously not expecting them to win.
They've still got quite a few injuries, I think, Everton.
Yeah.
But either way, it's still not looking good, and especially when they didn't want Rafa Benitez.
It's going to turn a bit sour.
That's
sooner than
another
I
one.
thought.
You should keep your eye on that.
I personally think this is why people shouldn't rush into jobs. Do you know what I mean? Antonio Conte rushed into Spurs. He didn't want Spurs. I just feel like Rafa Benitez shouldn't have rushed into this Everton job. Obviously, no one knew what was going to happen with Newcastle, but I feel like he should go back home to Newcastle.
Yeah, but he was in China before that.
True.
He was chilling in China.
But like, if we're going to continue playing musical chairs, Rafa to Newcastle.
I just saw that clip of Klopp and Arteta kicking off.
I think Rafa to Newcastle, man.
I
just don't think it will work out with Everton in the long run. I could be wrong, of course,
They've just given Eddie Howe a new deal.
I know. It's a shame.
Be an interesting one.
Eddie to Leeds, if Bielsa going.
Yeah, there we go, mate. Musical managers.
chairs.
Musical managers. Leicester 0, Chelsea 3. Leicester, Brendan Rodgers, just saying, Leicester are not looking good at this moment in time, are they?
No.
What is going on?
I don't know, and it's disappointing and it's crazy. I know that Brendan Rodgers is a great manager. I've bigged him up for years. I wanted him at Arsenal at one point.
Great manager.
But for what's happening, I know they've got injuries as well, Leicester, but like what's happening with Leicester at the moment, for someone like Brendan Rodgers to be the next man for the Man United job, it's a bit crazy when he's not winning at the moment. To throw him into that pool of potential managers.
Oh no, absolutely, it's quite incredible. But when you think about it, all he's done at Leicester, you know, Community Shield, FA Cup.
Yeah.
How do things? Not that they've gone sour. They haven't gone sour.
Maybe they've been overachieving recently.
Is that overachieving? Because I feel that Leicester have got a good team.
Yeah, they have.
Is it the squad? Is it not enough quality within the squad as on a whole?
No, I think they've got great quality. Obviously, like certain players are missing. I don't know what's going on.
Just not clicking.
Yeah.
Not clicking at the moment.
Maybe something's going on behind the scenes, who knows?
But then again, Chelsea, and also they were at home.
Yeah, obviously. Actually, let's not sleep on Chelsea.
Let's talk about Chelsea, because Chelsea is just insane. They also don't concede, which is just scary.
I literally said when I was talking about Man United not being big anymore, saying it's Leicester and City's time. It's also Chelsea's time too.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put them in there, because Chelsea are obviously still top of the table.
The job that Thomas Tuchel has done since coming in. I mean, look, they had the foundations, and they've spent an awful lot of money doing it.
That's what happens. You've got the right manager.
But exactly, the right manager knows how to win, and they just look like such a well-oiled machine, don't they? They're scary.
The clean sheets that they've had, the goals that they're scoring, and they've still got key players missing.
Yeah,
that you would expect to score those goals.
You look at, that's what I'm saying about squad depth. You look at their squad, and even they have people come in, whether it be Hudson-Odoi, whether it be Chalobah. They've got people that
and
can just
I'm happy for those young boys that are getting, because I feel like in a normal season, if everyone's fit, they would hardly get any minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for them that they're still getting this moment to shine and doing it correctly.
And do you know what else kills me, right? Conor Gallagher, Livramento, all Chelsea, Billy Gilmore.
Yeah.
What an incredible academy they've got.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. I'm going to ask you again. Are they your favourites for the title?
Ew, don't say that.
Just
don't put it like that.
Well, I feel like we chop and change between Liverpool, Chelsea, City. But
so I think about 5 weeks out of 7, I've said Chelsea, I think. 2, I said Liverpool. I haven't actually said City.
The City always go about their business so quiet.
Yeah, I haven't actually said City once, I don't think. For me, it's still between Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yeah,
but City might just creep up there.
I know, I have this debate in my head all the time. I'm like, oh, Liverpool, because look at the way they play. But then again, look at the way Chelsea play.
Oh my gosh.
They don't even concede.
Listen, Man United might get a manager in that changes their whole thing around. They could go on first or second.
Now that would be an interesting.
That would be an incredible season. What a turnaround that would be.
Turnaround. But yeah, that goal from Kante in midfield as well the other day for Chelsea, just beautiful.
Gotta love him.
Beautiful things to watch. On to Aston Villa 2.
Oh, sorry. Before we get on there, there's loads of. I'm seeing lots of blue hearts in there.
Oh, the Chelsea fans coming out.
That Kante goal of the month contender.
Okay.
Adivitia says Chelsea dynasty is loading. Chelsea playing better football than City now. Pedro saying going to be so boring for the rivals when we win the league. Chelsea fan there. City era is about to end. Chelsea. And Shashi says we run this league and lots of blue hearts. Chelsea fans super confident.
Out in force.
Super confident.
Out in force. Right, Aston Villa 2, Brighton 0 for Steven Gerrard's first
well done, Stevie.
game. And I have to say, the goals in that game were also joke.
Yeah. Ollie Watkins, superb.
So
that's
good.
the Ollie I've been waiting to see arrive for a little. Not Ollie, but Ollie.
Ollie, that's the real Ollie.
That's the real Ollie. That's the Watkins I've been waiting to see. I mean, he's had glimpses of it this season.
Yeah.
But what he did in that game, it's like, wow, where has that been? Even Mings' goal, so clean.
So clean. They played well, good attacking football, kept a clean sheet as well. And you can imagine like the whole end and that whole stadium must have been going insane. And it's really good to see, obviously, the type of football that Steven Gerrard wants them to play.
Yeah.
And also good. I'm quite happy for Steven Gerrard. You know, I think that coming from the success he's had at Rangers, you know, there's all that talk about him going back to Liverpool, but he has to have Premier League experience. As, you know, under
Liverpool's
his belt.
a way bigger job to jump into after what Klopp's doing.
Exactly.
I wouldn't want. If I'm a manager, I wouldn't even want to join after that.
You've got to make sure that he's up to the task of doing it. And I think that Aston Villa is probably a very good club for him as well, where he hasn't got loads of pressure on him. Yeah. It's just, you know, top half.
As a manager of Aston Villa now, how do you manage or measure your success to know that you're then ready to go to a club like Liverpool? What do you have to achieve at Aston Villa to say that I'm ready?
European football?
That's a big ask.
It is. I'm not saying Champions League football.
But like Europa League, that's still
I'm saying, you know, finishing 5th, 6th.
That's a big ask.
But consecutively, not just like one season. I'd say building that. I think Villa have got quite a good squad. Yeah. I think that it's always going to take time to adjust when you sell your star player and Jack Grealish. And I think that they spent the money well on the likes of Emi Buendia, Leon Bailey, Danny Ings. Again, they've had loads of injuries too. But I think they have got a good squad. You know, we were talking about them earlier on in the season, saying how good they are. And how they weren't feeling any, you know, effect of losing Jack Grealish.
And then it all just went...
All went downhill. And then there we go. But I still think it's a very good job for them. Brighton uncharacteristically losing.
Yeah, because, I mean, they've kept a couple clean sheets. They did well at the start of the season. They were 3rd at some point, even 1st at one point, actually.
But that does show you about
they were definitely
depth.
top 3. And I just felt like Brighton would have been a bigger test for Aston Villa. So it's a massive win for Steven Gerrard because Brighton have been pretty quality.
Solid, haven't they? Really solid. But again, that's all about squad depth, and it just shows you that. But a very good win. You get that new manager bounce, don't you? As soon as someone comes in. Another outrageous game: Newcastle 3, Brentford 3.
I'm actually so annoyed that I missed this game because I just kept getting updates like goal. And I'm like,
it was
actually I was watching you guys.
Yeah,
I was watching you guys on the Saturday football show.
I have to say, it was like literally one of the best things ever to see, like. On our first show, all these goals, I was thinking, thank God it wasn't like a boring
Imagine
day.
it was like 1-0 here, then everywhere, 0-0.
And there was like so many goals, it was just insane. But yeah, Newcastle, obviously, Eddie Howe wasn't in the dugout, even though it's he's got coronavirus, even though that was his first official game in charge. Yeah. Newcastle looked like they were playing much more attacking football.
I know, 3 goals in one game. I mean, they just need to tighten up the defence now. I mean,
they do.
It's a bit of an imbalance. They're like leaning like this.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Brentford as well. They've had a bit of a realisation, haven't they, in recent weeks? But they do fight back.
And they're still scoring goals.
They are scoring goals. I thought that was a really good game and good goal as well, to be fair. What do you expect for Eddie Howe? Because we all know that what Newcastle were looking at. They wanted the Unai Emery. They wanted the glamour manager. And I think they probably had to realise that a glamorous manager is not going to come and get you out of a relegation battle. Yeah. So what do we think about Eddie Howe's appointment?
I think it's a great appointment for him. I've always respected him as a manager. It's going to be hard. We know it's going to be hard for them to stay up. They've got one transfer window. Well, he's got one transfer window to make something happen this season because they're still bottom of at the bottom. So he's got a huge task ahead of him. Whatever he does in January, and remember there's a cap, you can't just spend all your money in January.
Yeah, I was going to say,
what they can
this
do.
is where we'll really see a financial fair play is a thing, because if they suddenly go and get Hazard, as they've been in with,
that's it,
you're like, what?
Can you even afford him in this one transfer window?
This is insane, but I'm excited to see what happens in that, because it will tell you this is like the new generation of what happened with Manchester City when all these players suddenly started going there.
That's why I think, and I think other people have said it as well, that's why, and I'm sure Eddie will as well, because he's cultured in the Premier League and obviously Championship as well, I think he will go for English talent or players that are already at other Premier League teams.
Dele Alli?
Not Dele Alli,
Perfect.
Jesse Lingard, which I don't think Jesse Lingard will go, but like
Maybe not.
players that are not even getting played, like maybe a Donny van der Beek, I don't know.
Whisper it. He might be in the team now every single week, Donny van der Beek. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, on to Burnley 3, Palace 3. I feel sorry for Burnley, right? Because
Burnley,
they probably would have been first on match day for like the first time ever.
Yeah, if they would have.
And like they still got pushed
I don't know,
down.
I still doubt it.
They still got pushed down. An exciting game at Turf Moor.
Yeah.
And crazy, like 2 games, 3-3. What?
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it? Imagine someone's accumulator on that.
Yeah, if someone actually had, no way someone had correct score on that game
never
or any
know
of those
about
games. But Burnley, they look good. I always feel like Chris Wood literally epitomises Burnley, like the type of player that, like big, strong, like a centre-back that is a striker, basically.
Yeah, get the headers in.
Yeah, but good for Burnley, good for Palace. Were Palace leading?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person. Mate.
Yeah, I can't remember if Palace were leading or not. But again, Patrick Vieira's side, again, never say die attitude, keep creating, keep attacking.
Young players in there,
Young
as well.
players. It's literally what you love to see. It's so different to like the Palace we've known from before. Are you loving watching Vieira?
Definitely. I'm just happy that he's doing well because I just felt like obviously with his experience, Premier League is always a different kettle of fish, and I was wondering how he would do at Crystal Palace, because you look at Crystal Palace, you think what are actually your aims for the season, and you just think obviously to stay up. So even though it sounds like it's not a big task for Vieira, that's a massive task for any manager to keep a team of that level up.
Yeah.
So
and
I feel like
playing good football.
Yeah, and they're playing good football as well. It's entertaining football. It's a game that you'll actually enjoy. You see some of these 3 o'clock kickoffs, not that you can watch them all, but you just think, do I even want to watch that match of the day? Like,
yeah, would I even be bothered?
Just make a cup of tea while that one's on.
But this is what's quite exciting at the moment. We're seeing quite a lot of these teams that probably, we know that Burnley play a specific way a lot of the time, and Newcastle don't tend to, play that expansive football. But we're seeing teams actually go and give games a go, try and be open and attacking. And it's great if you're a neutral like us because you want to see goals.
And entertaining football.
And then it makes you think, oh yeah, I want to watch match of the day now. Yeah. I want to enjoy it.
Definitely.
So that's always good to see. And finally, last but not least, Norwich 2, Southampton 1. Another new manager, Dean Smith, just was out of a job for 8 days? Or 4 days?
I mean, lucky him.
Interesting, though, from a Norwich point of view, the fact that you get your first win under Daniel Farke, after all that time, sack him, and then go get Dean Smith, who hadn't won in 5. That
was actually so bizarre.
Is that strange from Norwich?
Yeah, it's strange from everything that's happening in Premier League at the moment is just strange in terms of managers.
Just weird.
Like, what? What are we getting jobs on now? Just contact, not merit.
Yeah, literally, just contact. Do you think they made the right decision, Norwich?
It's a hard one to call. Obviously, you would say yes because they would just kept losing. They were on like 2 points at the time or something like that. Maybe even 0. No, 2 points I think they were on. And you just think, well, they're not progressing.
Back-to-back wins now.
And now they've got a new manager in who's also very experienced, which is good. It's not like they're just picking some random managers. These are all experienced managers that are just getting swapped about. And you're winning now, so you can't really complain. They've got 8 points, I think.
Yeah, and actually they beat an informed Southampton.
Yeah, so
which is interesting to see as well. So where Norwich is it just from a Dean Smith perspective? Do you think he will keep them up?
Hard. If I look at the teams that are going to go down, I think Norwich is in there. I think Newcastle potentially in there, and then it's a free for all. Whoever else can fit.
If he keeps them up, is that a manager of the season?
No.
Type thing. Why?
Manager of the season.
I'm asking you to do.
You've got Thomas Tuchel, bro.
I'm asking
You've got Klopp.
Okay, but to survive a great escape like that, to come in and do it, if you keep them up.
That was like, wasn't it Dean Smith last time? Yeah, Aston Villa. Who was it? No, the manager of Sheffield, I think it was a couple seasons ago.
It was Villa when they stayed up.
No,
was it on the last day?
It was Sheffield. Not Sheffield. That finished like 8th. What's his name? Comments, help me. Like 2 seasons ago.
Chris. Oh
no, not Chris Hughton.
No. Are you talking about Sheffield?
I think it was Sheffield.
Chris Wilder.
Chris. He was like top 5 managers of the season because what he achieved. I think they finished like 8th or something crazy, and then it all went downhill the next season.
Okay, so you don't think it's an achievement if he keeps them up?
He'll be like, if he kept them up, you'll be in the top 10 of managers of the season, but not manager of the season. You don't get manager of the season for staying up.
I'm just asking, is that a credential if you manage to survive the Great Escape? At this moment in time, they were on the same course to be like the Derby side of 2000. Is it 2008, 2009?
Not enough to be manager of the season. Enough to get credit, enough to win an award maybe. Whatever, there's so many random awards going on. There's so many like random awards you can win throughout the season. He'll get like a manager of the year for like Football Writers Association. That's not random, by the way. That's a big award. But like for He won't get Premier League Manager of the Season, but he'll get an award if he does that.
Okay, tough crowd over there. Very tough crowd.
Being
Right, okay. Let's move on to Team of the Week. Don't forget, you guys can pick your Team of the Week on the Don Robbie Extra app, www.donrobbie.com. Right, shall we go to our Team of the Week?
Let's go.
Would you like me to read yours? Or?
Yes, please. My eyesight is
your
horrible.
eyesight is not very good. Hang on, let me... I've also underestimated this. Right, I'm going to go with yours first.
Okay.
So you've gone with Martinez in goal.
Great
You've gone a
performance.
back three of Trent Alexander-Arnold, Rudiger, Tyrone Mings. You've gone Billy Gilmore, Rodri, Kante and Tom Cleverley
I think
in
my
the
team
middle.
week's actually sick.
Your team is very good. Watkins, Sterling and Mane up top.
Hey guys, what are you rating my Team of the Week out of 10?
Her Team of the Week is very, very good. I just picked a different formation.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, it's both 3-4-3.
Well, yeah, but when I actually did it, I went 5. I went. Oh no, sorry, I did 3-5-2. But I pushed my fullbacks up high and I also played some people out of position because I wanted to put as many people in as I could, basically. So yeah, I went with Martinez in goal, Hanley, Mings, and Rudiger. And I did play 2 right backs. I played Cancelo and Trent Alexander-Arnold. It doesn't really matter because they're not playing in real life. But I wanted to basically shout them out. I wanted both of them in there because I couldn't pick between the two. So I thought, you know what, it's not real.
I didn't even notice that till I just.
I told you before. I was like, I've just forgotten actual positions today. I just wanted to shout out everyone I thought did well this weekend. I put Dennis in the midfield and Rodri and Mane, Watkins and Sterling up top. So I think combined both of ours, you basically put in 2 people that I would have put in mine, but I just went for the fullbacks. And I thought I should give a shout out to Grant Hanley from Norwich because I think it was a good win for them. And I was
I've got a Norwich player in there.
Proud of them. Do we have any Team of the Weeks or any comments you'd like to go through?
Let's have a look. Fabinho should be in there, says Ali. Cancelo, did you put Cancelo in there?
I did put
yes,
Cancelo.
They're putting Cancelo flames. Rodney said Cancelo been playing left back anyway.
Thank you.
There you go.
Versatile.
John says just pick Manchester City players and youth players for Team of the Week. And youth players?
And youth players.
Which youth players? But yeah. Kevin says it's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Kevin. Happy birthday. Make sure you guys also head over and do your Team of the Weeks as well. That's all from us for this week. We have a nice week ahead. We've got Champions League coming up on Don Robbie channel.
Yep.
Don't actually know who's doing those watch-alongs, but stay tuned and you'll see. We're going to do our own little outing. We're off to Manchester City, PSG.
Way! It's the only time I get to watch Champions League football.
Same. We're off on a little road trip. But I'll be back on Thursday with Flex. Flex is back this week, I think, anyway, for Premier League preview. And you're not here next Monday.
I'm not.
You're not, so it'll be someone, most likely Flex. If not, we'll find someone else.
I'll see you soon.
But she will see you really, really soon. But other than that, have a great week, guys, and we will see you shortly.